She was little Miss Innocent, standing out by her daddy's white fence. She said, I ain't never seen a car like that, a low rider with the seats lean back. I threw the gear back into drive, and then she hit me with a blind side. She said, take me out to the highway. So I drove to the interstate, a million things rushing through my head, and that's when she said, push the pedal down, baby, I wanna go fast.
Nashville is a really special place. I've dreamed of coming here my entire life. It always looked like this magic Disney World type place where all the musicians went, and it really is.
Wanna slow down and touch that brake. She was turning it up while we were passing the lake. Radio on, we were singing. Just a small town girl, she had me believing it's alright to be young and dumb.
What's special about music is that I don't think you really plan on what you're gonna do. I think you start off just enjoying it, and then as the layers unfold, it kind of peels back and you discover who you are musically.
Get that crazy, shotgunning like a Dixie lady. I ain't never seen you act like that. Hair down and your seats lean back. I bet you didn't know you knocked me dead right when you said, push the pedal down, baby, I wanna go fast. I was checking the rear view through the back glass. Gave me a feeling that I never had. She was biting her lip like a good kind of bad. Didn't wanna slow down.
My dad actually was a studio musician for Capitol before I could remember, but we always had a garage filled with drums and people jamming out, which way later I found out one of the times was the Beach Boys. My whole life has just been like music, 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 and all these influential people who I had no clue at all.
I actually think having a family and someone that I need to provide for pushes me to be better, because it's not just selfish ambition. It's rooted in my love for my wife and my love for Christ, and it's rooted in my love for my family.
I'd always tried to write songs, but they were really corny and I couldn't really find an authentic place to write from. And then, kind of classic story for songwriters, I had this really horrible breakup with my boyfriend from college, and the only way that I could process it was through writing songs, and it just poured out of me, and I think I found some like truths deep down during that period, and that's when I started writing.
That's when I wrote my first song. I was 12, and I wrote it for some girl that doesn't know. Let's see.
I had this little crappy, like $6 mic I bought from Walmart, and I record myself singing and playing, and I just remember like hearing myself for the first time and being like, man, this is absolutely terrible.
Is a broken heart. Santa Barbara was a great place to grow up. I actually grew up with a couple other artists. Tim Lopez from the Plain White Tees was like one of my best friends. And then funny enough, Katy Perry lived down the street from me. Katy actually gave me my first guitar, which was really exciting, and taught me how to play my first chords. She basically said, put your finger on 3 strings, and if it sounds good, you found a chord.
I eventually joined a band called Divided by Friday, and kind of got started there. So with Divided by Friday, it was a matter of, do I want to lose myself? Did I want to be touring 300 days out of the year and sort of abandon my friends, my family? Outside of that band and outside of that community, it just wasn't for me. So I still have a good relationship with those guys. At that point in time, it just didn't work out that way for us.
I come from a line of country music. My great uncle was A.P. Carter of the Carter family, and my grandma's first cousin was June Carter Cash. So 2 of my uncles owned a recording studio in Bristol, Tennessee, and I just kind of got thrown into the fire at a really early age. the challenge as a professional songwriter is to write a variety of songs all the time and to try to pull emotions from different places. So sometimes that means reading books or watching movies or TV shows to try to get stories and ideas and pull emotions from other people if you're not necessarily experiencing those emotions. But I think always pulling from an authentic place of real experiences you've had creates some of the best songs that relate best to people.
So there's so many different genres, but there will be no innovation without integration. You can't move on unless you start mixing things. You only got so many colors, so you start mixing them, see what you get. That's what I feel like my strong suit is. My father really prepped me with all kinds of music, so now I can like take all those little things, like a riff from a Def Leppard song, and put it in the feeling of a ABBA pop song or something, you know? So.
You're literally creating a baby. You're having a relationship with this song. I wrote a song yesterday, great song, and then I went and listened to the chorus. I was like, this isn't the chorus. You just need to kind of like step away from it, you know? And again, be okay to say that this isn't right. When it comes to writing for other people, it's strategic. It's what is my product? Who am I marketing to? What demographic? What's the feel? What's the emotion? What's the color? What's, the packaging gonna look like? And so in that sense, yeah, I have to be strategic.
If I'm just writing music to write music, then I wouldn't be a commercial songwriter. I took this job because I love it, and there are people who don't, and who only write what they write, and that's okay. But to some degree, if I want to make this a career, I have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to write for what people want to hear, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What makes pay interesting from a writer's standpoint is if a song gets recorded, once that song is released, it takes ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, those different organizations that collect your monies. It takes them 6 months to collect that money and then pay it to you. So on average, you might write a song, 2 years later is when you're gonna see any money from it. We're really just sitting around writing songs and waiting for checks.
Well, yeah, that's okay. A couple bad experiences. Oh, sorry.
9 times out of 10, this is the process. You sit in a room with somebody, you mingle, you break the ice for a little while, you find out what they like, what they've been listening to, and what kind of song you might want to write that day. Then you start strumming guitars, and you start clapping hands and finding tempos and doing things like that. And then next thing you know, you got a little bit of a guitar part and you got a little bit of a melody. And then once you kind of end up with a full song, like you found out the melodies and you put words into those melodies and you had a concept, you figured out what you wanted to say and you said it. You just got to find a million ways to say one thing. And you find that one way that says it just a little bit different. Like there's a moment where you say, where everyone in the room kind of looks at each other and they say, oh yeah, that's why the guy walked up and said that. That's when it, and that's the best moment, when the idea lands.
I feel like writing is a partnership, and so you have to be able to go in there and compromise this, that, and the other. My writing style is just very honest and very open and very fun. Like, I love having fun.
Well, my worst co-write experience in Nashville was with a guy who writes a little bit more bro country stuff, and we got together and he shot down every single one of my ideas. And I think that the most important thing as a co-writer is to be respectful of all the ideas in the room. You never know who's going to come up with a really great idea, and if you shoot someone's idea down too quickly, they feel less empowered to share more ideas. And there's really no bad idea, it's just what's the best for that song. And so that was probably my worst experience, just having every single line I suggested shot down. And then at the end of the co-write, he wanted to go buy me drinks, and I was like, no, thank you.
Being a woman in the songwriting and the music field is a struggle, and it should be, and it is for most women. And any woman who says it's not is full of baloney.
You hear so much bro country happening, and that's what's popular and that's what's out there, and guys write that really well, and so some of the female writers just haven't been emerging. But I hope that that will change and that females will step up and start to really take over the songwriting industry, or at least be represented a little more equally, because I do feel that there is a lack of female songwriters in the industry.
I think there's a common misconception that you have to sacrifice love and marriage to be ambitious, and I don't think that's true. And I think I can prove that because I'm making it work right now. I think it's about being disciplined, and no matter what, care comes first. And so if that means a divorce in another area of my life, then that's going to happen. And I'm going to put her before that, and that's just the way it is.
Come home to me, come home to me. Back into my arms, home where you belong. Come home to me, come home to me. If home is where you are.
Justin Bieber actually sang a song that I wrote, and that was kind of weird. I get a phone call from one of my best guy friends from LA, Ernie Halter. He wrote a song, it took like 20 minutes. It was just one of those natural songs where it was just like, we've known each other for a while. We know what each other's gonna say right before we say it. We wrote this great song called Come Home to Me.
Come home to me, come home to me. Back into my eyes.
Basically, he sang it to Selena Gomez in China. So it was on his Asia tour, and he kept playing. It was insane. It was just like, okay, these are just simple words from our heart. And we didn't really get paid for it, so there's that too. We did, kind of, but with the music world, it's just like all complicated. He didn't actually put it on a CD. You know, what is songwriting about? And it is, it should be about changing hearts and your emotions, and sometimes it's just to like forget things and go crazy and have a ball, and sometimes it's like you're sharing a moment with somebody, or you're literally changing their lives.
So I'm currently starting my own publishing company called Unbroken Circle Publishing. A little bit of encouragement can go a long way, and that's what I want Unbroken Circle to do for indie writers in town. If I have a small following of people who really love the songs, or if they're placed in film and TV and people are, hearing these songs and being influenced by them, inspired by them, that's success. The awards would be really nice, but really it's just writing things that are meaningful and impacting even one life.
1,000 reasons to sit here with you.
Producing, working with smaller artists who are up and coming, that's a big passion for me. Is like, sure, it's cool if Taylor Swift picks your song, but it's also cooler to start something brand new, and watch that blossom.
And then you're like, no, that's really cool.
But success for me is being able to have someone really connect with a song. And my happiness comes first right now. My heart comes first. My goal is to do this for the rest of my life and be able to do it well. But I do. My success is making sure that people are connecting. At the end of the day, I would love to get another cut. It would be great. And if it's a silly song, then it's a silly song. But it is a business, and it wouldn't be so bad to make a little bit of money.
We're dangerous. I'm never gonna give you up. It's better we give it.
I'd like to think that what we're doing right now, hopefully, is on the forefront of what's going to happen in Nashville for the next 10 years. And so I like that about it. I like the community, to be able to really feel like I'm really contributing. I would be happy with people just cutting my songs. Even if they didn't make it to #1, I mean, I would just be excited that they like my song enough to record it. Like, that's cool for me.
I think we should end this road though eventually.